Hello everybody, this is the guy plays games, and this is my first weapons guide. For this guide we're gonna go over all the machine gun guides, how to use them, and what the pros and cons are. Now first I got here the little starter car with the standard guerrilla cabin and the two starter machine guns. The starter machine guns are the weakest weapons of the entire game, so you want to upgrade from them as soon as possible. Of course they are machine gun class, so I do include them in the guide. Machine guns are automatic weapons that deal low damage per shot, but have a very high rate of fire. For example, if you shoot here, only do 5 damage, but it does have a reasonable quick rate of fire. I do want to point out, if you look at the crosshairs, if you fire, they do go out, and they will reduce accuracy. Also, if you look down below at the center, you got the health bar and the weapons bar. You can see that the weapons are heat based. They do not have an ammo number underneath them, and when you fire, they go up until the yellow bar goes up until they are entirely filled. Also, if you point this way, one of your weapons will gray out. That means that the barrel is pointing something of your own vehicle, and because of that, it cannot fire. So these things do, again, very little damage, but they are still, of course, starter weapons. Okay, for general use for machine guns, you want to choose burst fire at long range, because, of course, the accuracy does degrade over time. So at these ranges, around here, you want to just fire around 5 or 6 shots, and then before waiting and redirecting the gun again. Okay, I'm gonna show you again. Start firing at full speed, and then you can see how many bursts I need, how long I need for the actual time for me to kill it at this range. As you can see, it's taking ages. Even now, it still isn't out to fire yet. So, right there it goes, and fire. And still not. There it goes. As you can see, it takes a very long time for it to explode. Compare it to this. You can see it's already smoking. There's already a fire now. And boom. There it goes. Okay, so these are the starter weapons. These are the Hornets, the 155 power score machine guns. They have 52 points of structures and an energy drain of 2. Their mass is 144 kilograms. For now, let's go on to the LM Short. LM Short deals slightly more damage. It has 6 extra points of health, 60 points total. Same weight and same energy drain. So they're basically direct upgrade in every single way compared to the little Hornet. And if you can see at point blank, if you remember, you remember that the single shot actually took 5 damage off. This one deals 7, so it deals about 40% more damage, which is actually quite a lot. Oh, actually, sorry. Their power score is 240, so that's also almost twice, so you do have to take that into account. Anyway, on to the Factors. Factors are the rare versions, and if you want to craft them, you can find them under Factions and Engineers. Oh, sorry. Factions and Nomads. Rares. They cost some machine guns, some radiators, and small steering wheels, as well as scrap metal and copper. It took 1 hour to build, as just like any other rare. Okay. The power score is 555, which is again almost double. Actually, this one is more than double of the Short. But the damage is also much higher, at the cost of the fact that this thing has a higher mass, 3 points of energy drain instead of 2, 74 points of structure, which is actually a bonus, so that's not a bad. But and I do want to point out that the overheat rating of most of the machine guns are pretty much the same, so you don't really have to take that into consideration when choosing your build. And this one deals 13 damage at point blank per shot. And now for the Defender. Defenders are a bit different, since if you look at this part, they only have a small cone of fire, but in return they have quite a substantial more health, 153 compared to the 74 of the Vector, and they're also slightly more powerful than the normal Vector machine guns. They're also rares, and they can also be found under the Nomad's tab, costing shotguns and cannons as well as steering wheels. They'll sparse instead of these three. There are actually good these are actually good alternatives for the Vector, but take in consideration that these cannot fire in any other direction than just forward, so do watch out for that. Well, and lastly for these ones, for the damage at point blank against the cabin is 18, which is again slightly more. I do want to point out that there is one more machine gun under factions, nomads and epics, which is the Spectre 2, under 940 power score, 123 structure points, 4 energy drain and 260 kilograms. This one has a special ability like most of the epic weapons, and each hit increases the next one's damage by 5% for 2 seconds, and it stacks up to 10 times or until you miss. Because of this, you want to burst fire as much as possible using the Spectre. I do not have the Spectre myself, so I have to take it out like this under the Nomad's test drive tab, so sorry for that. And these ones actually do a lot of damage per single shot. 19 total. And if you see, it goes up every time you hit. 28 damage with the 10th hit. Because of the fact that these guns actually are better if you keep on hitting every single shot, you want to try tap firing or burst firing at all ranges instead of going full out. And actually, this, as you can see, it goes much faster than the Hornet does. So you do notice that they are substantially stronger. And for now, I'm gonna show off the machine guns, which are the MG13 Equalizer and the Reaper. MG13 Equalizer is a rather unique part because it's the only real part that actually benefits from the radiators. The radiator parts are parts that can increase your heating threshold, so it takes longer before the gun's overheating, but it also increases the cooling down time. The Equalizer actually has a ability that gun fires longer without stopping. So as long as you hold the button, you will it gains more and more damage. It goes like per 1%, and after 7 seconds, it's a 100% damage increase. You can also see that if you go into the test drive, pick up the archaeologist. This one does have 3, so it should deal 50% more damage per single shot. I want to point out that. Damage. So as you can see, it also deals less damage per shot, but it has an insane rate of fire. If you look at the bottom when holding a fire down bottom, you see the heat going up as well as some kind of circle that goes around it. That circle is the uninterrupted shooting. As you can see, it went up until it stopped, and as soon as I release the button, it's instantly gone. So again, you want to hold these guys as long as possible and keep the fire going as long as possible, so make sure you get at least one radiator around with these. Okay, sorry, and about these for the stats themselves. 705 power score, 123 points of structure, 3 points of energy drain, so it's actually 1 point less than the Spectre 2. and 260 kilograms of mass. And lastly, for this first episode, is the Reaper. The Reaper is the legendary minigun under the Nomad factory, and it's 1950 power score. It has a ammo limit as well as heat limit, so that's a downside. And 380 point structure, 6 points of energy drain, 603 kilograms of mass. The special ability is that it can every 10th projectile projects up to 2 meters of armor. Because of that, it can damage parts that are behind armor. So for that, as an example, I'm gonna take the some little armor box. After that, I'm gonna put down a little generator. I'll find where that is. There it is. And now I'm gonna get back to the factions and get the test drive going of the Wanderer. The Wanderer does have a MG13D, but on a different fire button, so I'm only gonna use the Reaper as well. Okay, I'm gonna just fire the top part, and you can see it just blew up everything after around the 10th shot. As you can see at the bottom, it does have a number underneath it. That's the ammo limit. The ammo limit can be increased using ammo boxes, but this part is also heat based, so that does make it difficult to combine like heat and ammo. So it's kind of an odd gun. But it is a pretty powerful weapon in the right hands, because of the more autocannon cannon style nature of the Reaper. It's slightly better medium range compared to the most other runs out here, but still the accuracy does degrade rather quickly. So the range, you don't really want to go further than mid range with these machine guns. Again, you want to hold the fire, and it does get into decreased accuracy. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and I will see you guys next time.